Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the IATEFL conference here in beautiful, sunny, and may I say, warm Brighton. Let me ask the people in the audience who have been outside probably, is it warm in Brighton today? Excellent. So I'm not trying to make you feel jealous, but I'm trying to give you some of the vibe here at the conference. So we have got some wonderful speakers who are with us to share their expertise and knowledge. And of course, with me, I have got Anka, who keeps trying to walk. So people watching us from home, please, I beg of you, please ask Anka, write your comments in the chat, and please ask her to rest and relax and not try to walk. And then, of course, I have got Nikki with me. And please also write in the comments, hello to Nikki. And why not say hello to me as well? Now, as of today in the conference, a lot of things happening. Day 2 of the conference started with a brilliant plenary, which is absolutely great. You can find it on the IATEFLconference.org website. And so please watch the space, watch our social media so that you can find out more about the plenary sessions. A very good opportunity for you to again get the vibe from the conference. The exhibition hall is packed. Lots of people walking around. We will do a video to show you around tomorrow. We have spoken to a lot of delegates who are telling us their experience about day 1. And then, of course, as always, we will give you some tips and advice about Brighton. And, of course, this is your CPD as well. Whatever you want to ask us, feel free to write in the comments. Also, if you have any questions for our speakers, always feel free to write us. And also, we want to connect with you. So let us know where you're watching us from. This is the conference for you. So thank you very much for joining us. And let's go to a video, and then we'll start with our first speaker.
Welcome to Brighton, the vibrant seaside city ensconced along the southern coast of England. Prepare to embark on a journey of discovery as we uncover the fascinating and quirky facts that make Brighton truly unique. Did you know Brighton played a pioneering role in several historical moments? Believe it or not, the skies above Brighton witnessed the world's first commercial flight in 1911. A small plane took off from nearby Shoreham carrying a rather unusual cargo, a box of light bulbs. Fast forward a few decades, and Brighton again made history by opening the doors to the UK's first land-based casino in 1962. This added another layer of excitement to the city's already vibrant nightlife scene. Hello, welcome back to IATEFL Live, and our first wonderful person interviewee this afternoon is Robert McCli. Hello Robert, how are you?
I'm very well indeed, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to
Oh,
talk
you're
to you.
more than welcome. How's IATEFL for you?
It's been very busy, very good, meeting up with some old friends and making some new friends, sharing the word, giving some advice, getting some advice, picking up some new ideas.
Brilliant. That's what it's all about.
And finding people to write articles for.
Okay. So that was that's a slight giveaway as to what you do. But yeah, should we start from the beginning? How did you get into this crazy profession, and where are you now?
I got into this crazy profession by teaching English abroad as an assistant d'anglais during my degree. So I got a degree in French. Quite like teaching, but preferred the idea of living in France. Thought I'd do a quick 4-week course in order to teach English abroad, did the course, thought I'd go to France, and ended up in Hastings on the south coast.
So was that on the way to France, or?
No, they offered me a job straight after the course.
Oh, right,
and
okay.
So I then spent 3 years in Hastings before getting the chance to move to Paris and become a director of studies in a school in Paris.
Okay.
After that, it was 15 years in Paris, 10 years in Oxford, a move into publishing, a move out to New Zealand to do some teacher training, professional development, and back now for the last 3 or 4 years.
So you've had a very colourful and varied journey, which is
very squiggly. I did more teaching at the end of my career than at the beginning of my career. I did some management in the middle. I've written for publishers and published writers for publishers. So I'm sort of jack of all trades. I'm not really an expert in anything.
Oh, yeah, I'm being modest. But you are the editor of Modern English Teacher.
Correct.
If there's anyone who hasn't seen or read Modern English Teacher, could you tell us what it is?
It comes out 6 times a year.
Mhm.
It's been around for, I think, about 40 years. I've been the editor for 12 of them. It's written by practicing teachers all over the world who supply about 25 articles for every issue, usually around a theme such as career paths or pronunciation or young learners. And it's essentially written by teachers for teachers, things they've observed, things they've discussed with their colleagues, things they worry about, things they found a solution to, and then we publish it. And if anybody out there wants to send something in, they're always more than welcome.
Oh, that's
Modern
brilliant.
English Teacher.
There you go. Heard it here first. Yes, that's fantastic. So it really is for kind of people in the trenches, so to speak,
Yes, it's not an
practitioners.
academic journal.
Mhm.
It's a practicing teaching magazine full of ideas, full of observations, full of observation pieces and opinion pieces.
Fantastic. Okay. And you also gave a talk at IATEFL yesterday.
I did.
Did it go well? I'm
thought
sure
it went
it did.
okay. It went okay.
Mhm.
We had a nice audience, a good mix of ages and backgrounds and jobs. And yeah, I think it went okay.
Which is brilliant. And you were talking about something I think very, very interesting. You were talking about paths that you can take when you're in ELT. Because
Exactly.
I think a lot of people think that they qualify, then they're just going to be in the classroom and don't necessarily know what is beyond that.
We're very lucky. We're in a profession which has a very short initiation, teacher training, practical aspect, if you like, and then offers all sorts of opportunities, which, if you're around to take advantage of, can take you to new short-term places, longer-term places, whatever, from just coordinating a level to mentoring a new teacher, writing a review for a publisher, sending an article to a magazine, doing a presentation at IATEFL. All of these are little steps along the way to then staying in teaching, being a more specialized teacher, getting into management, getting into sales and marketing. There really is a lot of possibilities out there, but we're all in the same boat. We're doing most of our work behind closed doors,
Mhm.
and the only people who really see how good we are our students. And they're not necessarily going to be the ones who are going to give us a new option and a new offer. They want us
that's
to stay
true.
with them.
That's true. Yes.
So you have to, as a teacher, just make yourself a little bit different. Put your hand up a bit, volunteer, suggest, not in a sort of please sir sort of way, but just being positive, making suggestions. When you're new to a place, you see things that the people who've been there a long time don't see. Tell people,
Mhm.
share your ideas.
Mhm. So if, for example, we had a teacher that's been doing it for a while and thinking, oh, I'm maybe getting burnout or I need a change, what could be one practical thing they could do tomorrow to maybe start something new?
Change level,
Mm-hmm.
change type of student, produce something, turn what they already do for their students into something which they can share with their colleagues or even outside their school with other teachers within their country. There are teachers associations everywhere, all of whom are fabulous hubs for sharing. And the internet obviously makes it much easier to share all our ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'd be amazed how many people out there are just looking for new ideas. There is nothing new, but everything's new.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly correct. And I think what's interesting is that you have a whole array of people doing different things at the conference, but I think we all started in the same place. We all started in the classroom, and then people just kind of branched out.
And you can always go to the classroom again, and it's refreshing to see people writing materials back in the classroom, managers back in the classroom, teacher trainers definitely have to be back in the classroom just to keep seeing what current modern students are like and what their issues are and how they have to be dealt with. Because as we heard in the plenary this morning, our job is to make the student's voice heard, not our voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's your next move?
My next move is to complete this issue of Modern English Teacher.
Are you still looking for articles,
Not
or
for
is
this one, but for
okay?
ones in the future, we're looking for people who want to write about 21st century skills and vocabulary. They're the next two issues. And in July, I'll be running a couple of workshops in Oxford at the University for teachers of English. I do a workshop on transitioning into management and another one on writing materials. So that's what I've got to now go away and plan and get ready for.
So you've got quite a clear direction.
I have.
I like that. I'm just kind of
It's
wondering.
taken a long time to get that clear direction.
But yeah, at least you found it.
Route.
But I think I don't know anyone that's actually had a really linear path. I think
you wouldn't have,
it
because
happens.
it's so cyclical in teaching. But one thing is certain: when you get to the sort of end of it and look back, it does look quite planned and preordained. Okay, there's been lots of luck, right place, right time, but it works out for most of us.
It really does. Yeah, it really does. No, and I think the thing is, no one sets out assuming that they're going to necessarily branch away from teaching itself, and then life happens.
Yeah, and then you find that people above you are not necessarily any more talented than you are, and people who are coming into the profession after you are just as talented. So it's great to see people younger, older, all moving away and doing their thing, having their own teaching journey.
Absolutely. And if anyone was watching at home thinking, oh, I'd like to actually write about my experience, do they need to have experience or anything like that? Like any
they need to
helpful hints?
They need to have taught, they need to have seen something in their classroom and thought, oh, my students do this, and what I do to help them do it better is this. Or, oh, my students always do that, or that activity never worked, but I found this way of getting around it. The tiniest thing like that, all of us will go, oh, wow, that's interesting.
Do you know, I think that's a good point, because I think we often think, oh, no one's going to be interested in that.
Everybody's interested.
Yeah, I know.
Something they can take into the room, try out, and if their students like it, they don't say, oh, by the way, thanks to so-and-so in Bratislava for this idea. Your students just assume it's your idea. And
exactly.
You're the best teacher they've ever had.
Exactly. Best teacher. And there's access, isn't there, to the modern English teacher? There's a QR code somewhere.
A QR code, which I'm sure will appear at some point in this interview.
We will absolutely direct you to that.
Access to this current edition, the first half of this edition, which is around career paths, which is what I spoke about yesterday. So for those of you who were at the session yesterday and found it a little incoherent, there you'll find the full coherence. And for those of you who just watched the interview and got a taste for what it's about, you can read more about career paths in that sample edition.
Perfect. So keep your eye out for the QR code, and that will give you more of an idea of career paths and also modern English teacher. Robert, what are you most looking forward to about Brighton for the rest of the week?
I'm meeting up with a very old friend tonight, and we're going to have some nice seafood and possibly a glass or two of something refreshing.
Lemonade. Might be. Yes. Well, all the very best. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, and I'm back here with Ree, who I've been told is the happiest, most cheerful person at the conference. That's how
I mean,
like,
I wouldn't say that.
I'm the clumsy cripple, you're the happy. It's like, I'm sorry, It's what they say.
I am known for my laugh. It echoes. So yeah,
It's a
you
good
might
laugh.
hear me around.
good laugh. Ray, could you introduce yourself for the people who don't know you?
Sure, absolutely. I'm Ree Willoughby, and I work for International House London, and I manage the teacher portal.
The teacher portal. Now
Mm.
I'm getting intrigued. I'm a teacher,
Uh-huh.
and like most teachers around the world, we have no time.
Yep.
And we're always looking for easy resources to use
Hmm.
that might not take us as much time or that help us to become better teachers.
Yep.
Yours sounds inspiring. Tell me,
Yeah.
what's in your portal?
Okay, so the teacher portal is IH London's free online teacher development resource.
I love free.
Yeah, you gotta love free. So you can just sign up, and we've got loads of things for teachers in terms of materials, resources that you can just download and use with your class. And they're all designed by teachers who've used them.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing again, but I think teachers do know best. Spoken as a teacher, sorry.
Yeah.
I do think teachers know best. They've tried it.
Yeah.
Okay. Classroom materials.
So we've got loads of classroom
What kind of
materials.
levels are we talking about?
So from low levels to advanced. We've also kind of got a collection for young learners and a collection for business English. So we put out a new one each week. And alongside that, we've got lots of different resources for teacher development as well.
Oh, love that. Okay, so
Mm.
when I'm done sort of downloading stuff that
Yep.
I'll use on my students, what can I use on myself?
So we've got courses, short asynchronous courses that you can just decide, oh, I'd really like to learn a bit more about how to help my students with writing, for example. So it's something that I personally really struggled with as a teacher in the beginning. Like I think maybe I had an hour and a half's instruction on the CELTA, and then I was in the classroom and I realized I had no idea how to help the students really.
I love writing personally, but to get students to like and do it well, that's next level for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got a course on that which teaches you a little bit of the theory, but a lot of it is about practical ideas and practical activities you can use in the classroom.
So it's like, if not complete lesson plans, inspiration and ideas for things that I could be doing with my students.
Yeah, exactly.
As well as then the classroom materials that are like already written out.
Exactly. So we try as much as we can to integrate the resources with the courses as well. So if you're looking at a resource, you might be like, well, why are we doing it like this? Like, oh, maybe it's because of this thing that you might find later. So we've got courses that cover a range of different skills, including one on working with emergent language, which Danny Norrington Davis wrote.
Yes, which also was the topic of our plenary, being, I think, shared at 6.
Yeah.
So,
So if you find what he says interesting, come along. You can do the course for free, and it's really, really, really super useful. So we've got one of those, and we've got 2 courses written by Adrian Underhill on how to teach pronunciation.
Well, that's sort of what he does.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the many things he does.
He does many more, but he's known for the pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got like the bigger names then also. It's not just It's not just a platform where, you know, some Anka from the Netherlands who's just gotten into teaching. Like, you've got the actual good stuff and the good people.
Well, I think at IH London, we've got an awful lot of experience in teaching and teacher training. And so we just really want to be able to share that more extensively. You know, not everybody can come and study with us. Not everybody can come and train with us and benefit from the conversations that end up kind of just happening and bubbling up. There's so many teachers who work alone as well, who work online and don't get to necessarily interact with other teachers. So the teacher portal tries to support those teachers.
To make sure that even if you can't make it
Yeah.
to IH London, you can still sort of benefit from the knowledge, you can benefit from the experience.
Yeah.
Interaction also, or?
Yep. So we've got twice a week, we've run one-to-one teacher mentor sessions. So one in the morning in the UK, one in the afternoon. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can book a 10-minute slot to just come along and ask any question that you've got.
That is crazy
good. It is so good, and it's
I've
so fun. I've
heard
it.
Free materials before, and as a Dutchie, I get on when it's free. It's like, oh, let's check it out. It's not always good, but free, love it. Teacher training, teacher development, online.
Yeah,
we have that. I try that.
Yeah,
sometimes good, sometimes
yeah.
Okay, but actual, like, oh my gosh, how do you guys do that?
We just do you know what? It's a real privilege to be able to do it.
Oh, for sure.
It is like scheduled. It's part of my job. So once a week I'm available. And then the other time, usually it's my colleague Ali, but it might be another teacher or an academic manager or just somebody who wants to talk with another teacher somewhere else in the world. And it's lovely.
So if you are a teacher and you think I could use free materials, free education, or just a really good talk with one of the most cheerful and happy people of the conference, all for free.
Yeah. And that's not all.
There's more.
There's more.
Oh gosh. We're becoming cliche.
I know. Okay, so we run webinars as well once a month, and they're all recorded, so you can go back and look at the webinars from before. And our next one coming up is in May, I think maybe the 13th. And it's Adrian Underhill again. He's talking about facilitation skills for teachers. So really, really useful. What do you do in the classroom? How do you facilitate learning?
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got that. And we've also got short videos of real classrooms, both online and face-to-face. And we put up a new one. Like, we've got a kind of rolling library of 10. So
talk me through this.
Okay, so
webinars exist. Like, I've seen that before. I'm sure yours are great, but like,
of course.
We know. I can look at other people's classrooms.
Yes, you can.
I love the peekaboo kind of thing. It's just like, what do I do? What does it do? Like,
so we have got short clips from a lesson. Say, for example, there's a lesson of me teaching. It's mortifying, but that's fine.
I'm going to look that one up.
So short clips, somewhere between 1 and 10 minutes. And then over the top of it, we put interactions to help guide observations. So as a teacher, maybe you're like, oh yeah, that sounds really interesting. I've never taught, I don't know, that particular level. I've never taught advanced. So I'd like to see what that looks like. You watch a couple of minutes and maybe the focus is on how to feed what you've noticed while you're monitoring into your feedback discussion. Or maybe the focus is on, I don't know, how to arrange a jigsaw reading. It could be anything
that's
really.
Then there as well. So it's not just I'm sort of peeking into your classroom and being inspired by just watching. There's those pointers already written out telling me this is what happens, this is what you're looking at.
Yeah. So there's an extra layer of what does a really experienced teacher notice when they look at this.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the most educational things when I was becoming a teacher and a new teacher was actually looking at other people's classrooms.
Yeah.
Because it's not about I want to be that person. Of course, I do want to be you, but like I want to be that person. But it is very much about seeing how other people do it.
Yep.
And then finding your way. And it's easier if you find your way, if you can look at like 3, 5, 10, however you need, many teachers to see how they do it.
Absolutely.
And then especially if there's a like experienced teacher training telling you like this is what you're looking at, this is what's happening here, this is why, and you know.
Also, I think as teachers we can be quite critical both of ourselves and of other people when we observe. So
teacher is the worst job because it's like we're critical.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of what we try and do is not look at you know, things that I wouldn't necessarily do or that kind of thing. We're not looking for the negatives. We're looking for where is the skill in the teaching, because that's sometimes much harder to see.
Oh yeah, because we tend to focus, especially I think as a new teacher, you tend to focus, you're looking at someone else on what they say, or the instruction, or the things, the levels that you're at the moment. That's what you see, not necessarily the layers underneath where you hope to grow to. Love that.
Yeah. And
That's-
it's
that's
free.
an original one also. Free. She keeps saying this word. That's the best thing about everything. But, brilliant.
Yeah.
So really original materials.
Yep. Absolutely.
Real life situations.
And you can you can come along, join up, use what you want to use. Don't have to do everything. It's very.
I'm amazed.
Yeah.
It's like, what's more?
It's,
like what else does it do? Does it fix all my problems?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a form of therapy, and it'll plan your next holiday. Yeah.
Well, that should be one of the classroom materials.
It should. Well, I think we probably have a classroom material on planning a holiday.
And if I can schedule talks with you guys, that is kind of a therapy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's professional teams, but it's therapy.
I mean, a lot of the time, I think what teachers really want from any kind of conversation is to know that they're kind of on the right track.
True. It helps, especially like you said, we don't always have that many colleagues to work with or to share our ideas with. But you are alone in that classroom. So it's nice to then sort of get together with someone and, I don't know, pick someone else's brain or have your brain picked so that you know, like, what else could I do? And I love that. What don't you do?
Oh, well, I don't really know how to answer that. I suppose nothing. There's nothing we don't do.
Brilliant. Okay, then speaking of life's questions, you said therapy, vacations, and everything. I've got room in November. I've got some time.
Okay,
is there anything in November that you can tell me I should go to? Or
yes, do you know what? There is absolutely something you should be doing in November.
Such a coincidence.
Isn't it? And isn't it? IH London is hosting a conference, the Future of Training conference, on November the 14th in London. And it's a lovely, lovely conference for experienced teachers, teacher trainers, academic managers. In fact, Georgia presented at it last year.
In that case?
Yeah.
Who do you have to top that?
Well, we haven't even started putting together the list for this year, but but Georgia will be there, so that's good.
If not, she's applying right now behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Is it open for abstracts? Can people who want to speak also approach you? Or
it will be, the call for speakers will go out within the next 2 weeks, I would say. But there's a QR code that will be shared where you can sign up to be on the mailing list. So then you'll get updates of
everything on
everything around it. Yeah.
Love that. So you've got a portal for people who want to learn.
Yep.
And for people who say, I don't need to learn, I'm that amazing.
Yes.
There's a conference and you can speak and obviously attend.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It's a lovely, lovely conference. It's just one day, great lunch. Lots and lots of really nice.
Lunch is included.
Lunch is included in the ticket price.
Gosh, here I'm going with free again, but love that.
Well, it's not free. You do have to pay, but lunch is included.
The lunch is free.
And drinks are included in the evening. So,
Drinks too.
We're generous.
But of course, we're coming for the talks, not.
Yes,
not
exactly. Come for the CPD, and everything else is a bonus.
What kind of talks can I expect when I go?
So the theme of the conference is the elephants in our room. So what is happening within our profession or within our classrooms that we don't really talk about or that we don't get to talk about very often. So it could be on aspects of well-being. It could be aspects of classroom behavior. It could be in terms of management decisions, all kinds of things. But the idea is to uncover some new areas or new ideas of what's really happening and give people the space and time to think about them and to discuss them.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Great. Come along.
Sign me up. How are you enjoying Brighton so far?
I love Brighton. I'm really, really happy to be here. It's always such a joy to see the sea. particularly today when it's sparkling.
Oh yeah, it's looking really, really good.
It is. It is. I'm anticipating potentially getting sunburnt.
You know what? Maybe we should try that.
I know. I mean, I burn like a crisp anyway, so
let's leave the show to Nikki, and then we'll go to the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. Good plan. Oh, and Georgia.
Georgia wants to come. No, we'll have to leave her behind the computer. Georgia did say she was going to swim. We'll get her wet somewhere. We'll get her like in the water.
It's a celebration at the end of IATEFL. You can leap in the sea.
Initiation thing.
Hello, I'm Marina and I'm from Ukraine. I'm here to find some interesting connections, to network, to see and to learn some trends in our industry. I really enjoy people here and the sessions, speakers. Thank you for this opportunity.
Hello, welcome back. I'm delighted to be joined by this beautiful pink lady.
Thank you.
This is Viola Bielecka. Did I say it well?
Yes, you said it very well. Thank you.
She's joining us today. Welcome. How are you?
Okay. Well, I'm just after the AGM, so it's been a lot to take on.
Oh my goodness. Hang on. AGM is the annual general meeting.
It is, yes.
And that is where we say goodbye to the people that have perhaps served their term in certain positions.
Exactly.
And say hello to the new people.
Yes. And this is exactly why I'm here.
So who are you, Viola?
I am a new treasurer for the IATEFL, obviously on the board of trustees.
Oh my goodness. So this means you're in charge of all of our money.
Yes, pretty much. Yes.
How does that feel?
Very much responsible post. Yes, a very much responsible post, but I'm really excited. I'm actually a former accountant.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was my first qualification. I qualified as an accountant. I worked in the city, so UK accounting is no news to me. But then, because I'm Polish, I moved back to Poland. I requalified as an EFL teacher.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've got lots of different hats.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this is really cool. So you lived in the UK for a while?
Yeah, quite a few years. I studied here.
Okay.
I moved here when I was 18. I started my degree here, which was applied accounting. And then I worked in the city, and I moved back when I had my kids because, you need your mother when you have kids. And I do have 3. So I do need a whole village.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. And then you qualified as an EFL teacher?
Yeah, I actually did my CELTA while I still lived in London.
Okay.
Because, being Polish, I figure I might need CELTA at some point. So I did that when I lived in London, at Language Link in London. When I moved back, turns out I can't teach with CELTA in a Polish public school. So I had to requalify. I had to do another degree in English philology.
Mm-hmm,
I did both.
Oh my goodness. So you did that, then you were teaching English. And now you are also instrumental in organizing the kind of IATEFL Poland event.
I am involved with IATEFL Poland. Well, that's where I started actually, and I have a huge thank you to say to Rob Howard, who got me on the board of IATEFL Poland. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today either. He got me involved with IATEFL Poland. That's where I started. That's where I met everyone from IATEFL and got involved. Yeah,
that's perfect. And if anyone's thinking, what's that? IATEFL Poland, it's a fantastic teachers conference.
It's a teachers' conference. We're actually an associate of IATEFL. So we work together with IATEFL. IATEFL is our mother, so to say. We do quite a lot of initiatives, actually, but we are one of the, well, we are the biggest associate of IATEFL. We run the second biggest conference. So our Polish conference is a 3-day-long event, starts on a Friday, finishes on a Monday, usually runs on a third weekend of September. So please do come and join us.
So the weather's gorgeous. It's
yeah,
kind of
the
like
weather's
Indian summer.
gorgeous. Yes, and there is loads and loads to see. So yes, very, very much worth seeing. Obviously not as long as here, but still the longest one after this one. So definitely worth coming and seeing.
And which city are we in this year?
I think I'm good to say, I hope I'm good to say, it's Warsaw.
Oh, fantastic. What a venue.
Well, it is my city. So I'm very, very, very excited. It is my city. So hopefully it will be good.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So hang on. And that's on top of your job or your new position here at IATEFL?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
What does the day-to-day look like for you? Like what is it that you're responsible for, and what does, what are your tasks?
Actually, I run a language school. So I run a language school day-to-day basis. I also teach. I do teach quite a lot. That I love teaching. So I'm not gonna give that up. No matter how many jobs I have, I'm gonna keep on teaching. So I teach primary and secondary. I got involved with digital learning recently. So I'm introducing iPads at school. We've done one-to-one with Apple Distinguished Schools. You might have heard of the program. So that's the news.
What's in Poland? What's the situation with phones and iPads in primary and secondary?
They are still allowed. We're battling that because we had no regulations really. So when they appeared in classrooms. So now we're battling that. I know that, for example, Sweden and Norway have backed out, and as of September 2026 they said no more, total ban. We haven't got that in Poland yet, but I feel it's close. I feel it's close because we're losing them. We're losing them. The attention span is getting smaller and smaller. So we need to go back to pen and paper, really.
Yeah, I think it's the same in the Czech Republic where I work as well. There is a move to potentially not use that, not allow the students to have that in lessons, the phones and pads.
Well, what we did, we introduced the iPads, which actually are something different because we have them without connection to the internet.
Oh, okay.
So they can use all, PowerPoints, words and everything, but they can't use the internet. So that seems to be a very good solution because they still get the tech, but they don't get stuck on gaming and Kahoots. I'm sorry, I'm against.
Are you really? Okay.
Yes, I've tested that. I'm not saying no completely, but once in a blue moon, yes. Not using that day to day. So my students aren't using that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, I think any method is a good method with a certain group. So whatever works for you and your learners, keep going. For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. And then amongst all of that, do you have time to be a treasurer?
Of course I do. Of course I do. It's, as with every post, we have come sort of wavy, busy periods. So for every financial year, and as Bethany was saying today in the AGM, we run from September to August, which is brilliant for teachers because usually we're off July and August for summer. And that's when all the budgets happen. So I basically fit that in very well within my job. Yeah,
which is perfect. Yeah, it's exactly the right time. Although by the sounds of it, you do need a holiday from everything.
I'm never on holiday. Well. I always go with my laptop, and whenever something happens, I deal with it.
But I think the organisation, IATEFL, is really lucky to have someone as enthusiastic as you are, for sure.
You.
And I'm just wondering if someone at home was watching and thinking, oh, I'd like to become more involved.
Please do. Please do. We always need volunteers. First of all, reach out to us. And by us, I mean anyone within IATEFL, because everyone who's here, everyone who's involved would know where to point you. So we've got plenty of SIGs. We've got 16 of them. So you can find it by interest group. you've got obviously the board of trustees. We have those special badges. So if you're here, come and talk to us and we can point you in the right direction. There is plenty of work and I'm sure you'll find something for yourself.
And there's great job satisfaction, isn't there, from volunteering and working with the organisation?
And yes, and working with all those like-minded people, you know, who there is no way you can know everything. So there's always something to learn. So it is a great place to be.
Perfect. Oh, final question. What are you most looking forward to for the rest of the week in Brighton?
Actually, today, after the AGM, was the first time I went down to the seaside. Do you know how beautiful that is? I'm going to go again. Yes, yeah, it's so nice and sunny and it's so peaceful. And okay, I'm going back to the next session, but but it's nice to go there. So I recommend after the day is over here, do go and see the seaside. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we've got the light and it's still quite warm, so it's perfect.
Yes, it's a beautiful day today.
Okay, well, I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nikki.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
It's lovely, isn't it, when we're told it's too sunny and we need to move. I think that rarely happens at IATEFL, but yeah, what a problem to have. Welcome back and welcome to our next speaker, Jenny Dooley. It's lovely to have you with us. How are you enjoying IATEFL?
Oh, I love it. Thank you for having me over again. It's been a wonderful experience, especially this year. I see lots and lots of people. We're not on a break yet. We're not on a break yet. But it's okay. People can go on a break. We still have to work. It's fine.
Editors and publishers meetup is on the IATEFL standby registration.
Always something happening.
It's fine.
Jenny, what were you saying? IATEFL busy?
Very busy. Lovely to see so many people this year, to be honest. I mean, I think we've reached pre-COVID numbers. I think because I've seen, like, it's the first time I've been in so many sessions where there have been completely full. They had to turn away people. Okay. Lovely. I mean, I'm very happy to see all this happening.
Absolutely.
Lots of people in the stands too.
Yeah, I'd not thought about that actually, whether or not in recent years we'd kind of come back to the way that we were before COVID. But yeah, absolutely. It certainly feels very busy, doesn't it? It certainly does, which is great. Okay, so let's talk about you and what you do. So you're obviously with Express Publishing.
Yep.
And so tell me, in terms of we're changing, classrooms are changing quite quickly. In terms of content, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, a lot of things keep me up at night, Nikki. But the thing is that, okay, if we think about it seriously, this generation of students has lived through a lot. Because, I mean, our grandmother used to say, we've lived through wars. They've lived through everything. They've lived through pandemics. They've lived through wars. They lived through so much social, geopolitical turmoil. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I definitely have noticed there is starting to be a lack of I'm not going to say the word values, but I see the students, and generally speaking, debates are people, they don't know how to discuss with each other. They don't respect each other. We're kind of, look at every post on social media. They immediately attack each other.
Quite inflammatory.
There's I mean, something is going on. Violence is rising. And I'm sorry to say that for the first time ever, and I have to say that because it was a very sad event, in my country recently, a teacher was bullied to death. A teacher, not a student, a teacher was bullied to death. So something is going on, and that definitely keeps me up at night. So what I make it my mission is to change that. To be able to have a little bit more positivity in our students' lives, to be able to have a little bit more sensible thinking, to be able to be kinder to each other. And I saw that you had seminars here on kindness, and of course I did go and attend those, because I think kindness is what's missing from the world. We as editors and we as publishers, we definitely need to take that into account and somehow introduce positivity, values, critical thinking. All of that should no longer be optional. Mediation, all of that should be compulsory in our classes. It's not just vocabulary, language, grammar, whatever topics. All of that. I mean, people think before you react. For me, it's a must nowadays.
Definitely. So what would you say, with all this going on, what are the biggest challenges for teachers at the moment, and what can schools do to try and support this?
They do have a lot of challenge. One of them being fast food English, if you know what I mean. Like, and I've even noticed that in the UK. I mean, I have come to the UK and I have observed a lot of schools. You cannot teach a language in 2 weeks. It's impossible. You can't have complete beginners and say, okay, I need to get a certificate in like 2 years. What are we, magicians? There's no syringe that you can inject language into a human brain. It's impossible. I know it's a shame, but until we're hooked to the matrix, that cannot happen. And I don't want to be hooked to the matrix. I am blue pill all the way. Or was it blue or red? I can't remember. Anyway, the pill that doesn't get hooked to the matrix. Anyway,
red pill
I think, yeah, maybe it's the red pill. You might be right. I have to go back and watch my sci-fi movies again. But this is one of the things. And also, there's a lack of engagement from the students. They want fast forward information. They want the concentration is diminishing. Is it because of social media? Is it because they are completely hooked on watching all these reels and all these videos constantly? They're reading less. One of the complaints I hear from the teachers all over the world is that they're reading less and less content. They're lacking reading skills, the students. I hear this from all the countries all over the world. So what we can do to support them, schools can send teachers to IATEFL to get informed. And we as editors, we have to create material which is going to make teachers' lives a little bit easier. We have to prepare them for it. We have to predict what is missing. We have to be able to think ahead of what the teachers might need and create it in our material. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that sounds very sensible. Absolutely. And in terms of professional development, how do you think professional development can be made more meaningful and more accessible?
That's what you're here for, guys. IATEFL. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be. It's a plethora of ideas. It's a treasure chest, basically. I am happy to see that a lot of teachers have come back this year. I'm happy to see that language teachers are still seeking out knowledge. Of course, one of the things that could happen, maybe governments could endorse some sponsorships so that teachers could come more and get more informed. Maybe some publishers could do the same too. I don't know. I'm just throwing some ideas here and there. But I think that, and I'm happy to see that, you know, our field and our department still has teachers who do want to get informed and they do want to get more developed professionally, which is not the case in all subjects, you know.
I think we're quite unique in that, actually, because I have a lot of teacher friends in the context where I work where they themselves go to language lessons so that they're constantly learning. And as you say, I'm not sure which other fields do the
that
same.
Yeah, it's our, I don't know, language is communication. So because of that, maybe we want to connect more and we want to learn more and we want to expand our knowledge banks more. I don't know. It's okay. We're always superior as teachers and educators, language teachers. Sorry. No, I didn't mean that. Everybody who's an educator is equal. Yeah.
And is there anything at the moment that excites you about the future of English?
What excites me is that I can see teachers getting back their influencers' voices. That's what excites me.
Do you think we lost it?
Yes, there was a time that we've lost it, but I think it's coming back. Where was it? I've read a proverb years ago and it's stuck in my mind. Like mothers hold their children's hand for a few years, whereas teachers hold their students' hearts forever. And I also believe their minds too now. So we are getting back in, and we definitely can become the influencers of our students, for better or for worse. I would choose the better, obviously. So if we can influence them and sprinkle a little bit positivity and values and emotional intelligence and, you know, anything good vibey in this world, then I think we can influence our students for the better.
I hope so. That's lovely, actually, to think that, perhaps we're getting the influence back. Oh, okay. Now, let me ask you, you work for Learning Express Publishing. What sets your materials apart from others?
I wouldn't go about telling you the stuff that everybody says that, we're the best, we're modern, there's thorough research behind our books, we pilot everything thoroughly ourselves, the authors and the editorial team currently speaking. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to tell you something completely different.
Okay.
We have children consultants nowadays. We're actually running everything through children or teenagers who actually tell us their opinion.
Oh, wow.
And we're actually thinking, and we're trying to create material which is not only age relevant, but modern and relevant to them.
Okay.
Because we know that as educators, you can't teach a language without teaching things like topics like clothes, weather, food, transportation, this, that, whatever. But the angle matters. So if you want to say, I don't know, let's say we're teaching a unit about, I don't know, festivals and celebrations or, entertainment or something like that. You're not going to go about teaching a subject that the teachers are familiar with, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, those who choose a material are the teachers. But who are they choosing the material for? The students. They are the ones who need to be engaged. And this is my suggestion for the teachers. When you do choose material, don't choose material that you think is relevant to your interest, but relevant to the student's interest. That's my opinion. That's my tip there for the teachers.
Wow. And how long has this been going on, the kids and the teens?
Couple of years now.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. And they probably give very honest and open feedback.
Of course. It's like the game companies do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so that's one to look out for. Have a look that it may be more geared towards the students. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, and Jenny, before I let you go, what are you looking forward to for the rest of Brighton and the rest of IATEFL?
Oh, more sessions. I'm trying to get in and see as many sessions as I can, because this, as I said, is a wonderful place. I mean, you understand that I do travel. Being the president of Express Publishing and being an editor-in-chief, I do travel all over the world and I go to so many different conventions. But here's a secret. This one is my favorite. And I'm not saying that lightly.
You heard it here first. Yes. I'm glad. I mean, it's my favorite too. It's such a good conference and such a lovely vibe around the place. Yeah. Jenny, thank you for being with us. All the very best and enjoy the rest of your time in Brighton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hello, I'm Elena Pirosada and I'm currently based in Cyprus. Originally I'm from Russia. I've been coming to IATEFL since every year since 2014, and it's always a good opportunity just to meet friends, people, colleagues, and to have a look at the trends which we have in LT world, and just to understand where LT is moving to. Okay.
Hi, I'm Tyson Severn. I'm coming from Canada. I work at the University of Toronto, and I'm here for the whole week. I'm actually a trustee these days, and so one of the things I'm looking forward to is actually just meeting members and figuring out, how everybody's doing at the conference this week, what they like, what they don't like, all that kind of stuff, so we can make it better for everybody. Otherwise, just a bunch of sessions, and that's what I'm trying to go to.
And welcome back. And I'm here with someone I'm very, very excited about.
Oh, wow.
Both because you've already done a talk on a really good topic that I'm interested in, and he's also Dutch. My previous interview was all about free stuff that we could get, which is obviously, as you know, very Dutch.
Yes.
So I'm very, very happy and I feel very homely this episode, thinking, Dutch things. Bulo, could you introduce yourself for the people who don't know you or the Netherlands?
Yes. Okay. Well, it's not about the Netherlands, but it's about me. I can introduce the Netherlands. How long do we have? I actually don't live in the Netherlands anymore. So my name is Bulo van der Pol. I'm Dutch, but I live in Spain. I've been living in Spain for 30 years.
He got out.
So yeah, that's
He's
it.
my inspiration. But nice.
So it's almost more Spanish than Dutch right now. Now it's still Dutch mentality with the Spanish, I don't know, twist, whatever it is to it.
Tied to English language teaching.
And tied to English language teaching. So I've been in the industry for over 3 decades, for 30 some years. I've run language schools in the UK, in Spain. I've had my own language academy for 25 years, almost 24 years and a half. And the last years I specialized with my teachers in dyslexia, ADHD, neurodiversity in general. We worked with a lot of these students also because I realized that I'm mildly dyslexic and ADHD myself. And I thought like, why can't they learn it if I can learn it, or if I've been able to learn several languages? So it can't be their ability to learn. It must be the way we teach them, which actually it is. And then I started to create a different not methodology, an approach to language teaching for neurodivergent students. And about 2 years and a half ago, I basically quit the school. I left the school, left it with my business partner. And since then, I focus all my energy, time, passion, everything to neurodivergent students and very recently neurodivergent teachers. And that's what I'm going to talk about here this year.
Love that. Okay, so neurodivergent students, I think we've all seen them.
Yes.
And I think
hopefully
we can talk a lot about that. Your talk is about the advantages and disadvantages of neurodiverse teachers.
Yes, exactly.
I want to cover that first because that's a topic we don't hear as much.
No.
And yet I think that we do have quite a few.
I can tell you that statistically we have at least 20%, so at least 1 in 5, but that's statistically from general population. Now, my personal hunch is that we have at least a third of our staff neurodivergent. Might even be more, but I don't know that yet.
So at least 20%
at least 20%,
teachers
yes,
is neurodivergent.
Yes, so at least 20%. Yeah.
Which categories are we talking about?
We're talking. So I did a global survey among 221 neurodivergent language teachers. It's a very long sentence. Majority from Europe. A few from Morocco, Latin America, some Americans as well, very few from Asia, unfortunately. And in this data set of 221 language teachers, 70.6% labeled themselves or identified themselves as ADHD, which is not really surprising, but it could be surprising if you don't know what teaching looks like, because in the general population, ADHD would be the second most prevalent condition. It would usually be dyslexia, which is the most prevalent condition, but among us, among us teachers, it is definitely ADHD. Yes.
Okay. How does it affect? Because I'm going to sound very cliche when I say, but that's good, like energetic and like lots of activity. That's sort of ADHD and teaching, I think, go hand in hand with
absolutely
like classroom situations tend to be very good for that.
Yeah.
But that's a cliche remark. Obviously, neurodivergent, there's more to it than just the one cliche version.
But for me, honestly, it's not cliche at all. It's one of the things that come with an ADHD brain. And for me, I always like to approach any neurodivergent condition, now be it a student or be it, in this case, a teacher, more as an opportunity no, not more, as an opportunity instead of as a problem. And where I know that many people, many school owners, many DOSers, many academic managers might, and maybe even many teachers might approach it, might see it as a problem, as a disability disorder. And I do hear this, and actually in my paper I see this. Yeah, no, we do see this. For me, it is a huge opportunity, and it's what you say as well. It's we're lively, we're very energetic, we're usually very creative. We don't like dull 9-to-5 jobs that's the same on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We like to talk. We like to be in the spotlight. We like to be listened to. We also like to be in charge.
Now you're describing the perfect teacher. So how is it a problem according to some people? What are downsides?
Yes. So all the upsides is all about how we teach, how we deal with our students, how we react. It's also we're usually very empathetic. We got a radar for students who struggle, and we find out why they struggle, and we connect with these students. Also, probably because we are as students ourselves have experienced moments like that.
Yeah.
Now, the downside usually comes, and you see it in the paper as well, that the barriers and the friction points are usually have to do with something outside the classroom. It's usually when it comes to prep time, like not enough prep time, when it comes to too much admin load, when it comes to too many communication channels, when it comes maybe to too much noise in the classroom, maybe the lighting isn't good, maybe it's not clear expectations from management, all that stuff. And I think, and I must say, I've done that myself. So I always say that I am as guilty as any other person who's ever been or is in a managerial position in education or language education, that when we are in a managerial or admin position in education, we look at the teachers, or we evaluate the teachers more about, do they answer their emails on time? Do they get their stuff? Do they hand their stuff in online? Do they sign the right papers at the right moment, at the right place? Do they do the reporting? Do they do the grading on time? Do they participate in all the meetings, etc., etc.?
Actually, all of those are in the questionnaires that my students have to fill in about me for my performance review. Yeah,
exactly. And if then you grade very low because you don't, and the question is, does Anka deliver or return your paper on time? You say, well, no, she usually says it's a Monday, but then it's a Thursday. Then management will go, like, oh, she's not a very good teacher. And then what happens after a while, and even when they say, is she a good team player? And then maybe you are not always a team player, because maybe you like to work on your own. Maybe there's something like that. And if then they evaluate you on that, then they're not looking at your capacity as a teacher. They're looking at you as a capacity as an administrator.
True. And the way you're describing it sounds like you're the perfect teacher if you're that type of neurodivergent. But then, when it comes to, you would also then be the colleague that doesn't answer my emails, and that is late to the meeting, and that when I'm asked who's your favorite colleague, I might not immediately say Paulo. Of course. Even though all my students will say they love you because you are a great teacher.
Yeah. So that's why for me it is important to understand this, to evaluate this as well, to be able to sit down with your teacher and to say, listen, what are your friction points? And I always say, both students and teachers, that any neurodivergent condition can be or should be an explanation, or can be an explanation, but should never be an excuse. So it should never be I answered your email like, well, I'm ADHD, or I didn't do this, but I'm dyslexic, I'm ADHD, so that's it. It should be a, yes, I know I'm prone to do this. Can we find ways to not to work around it, but can we find ways to adjust it in such a way that I will not do this anymore, and ways that work for me and work for you. And the beauty is that if we do this, it can be individual changes, and it will work for me and for you, because our relationship will be better as well, professional relationship. But if we do this on a structural level, if we say, let's see if we can just do this on a structural level in the organization, then in the end, everyone will benefit from this.
Well, yeah, because it might be because you're neurodivergent, but everybody has preferences in terms of, I'm good with administration. I'm also not good with answering emails on time. Sorry if you're still waiting on an email from me. So there's like, yeah, that works for everybody and it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're the best teacher. That's clearly an advantage.
Not me. In ADHD people in general.
ADHD people in general, which is then 70%.
They're very good teachers.
Of the neurodivergent people that you'd interviewed. And then a problem would be more the administrative sides, for example. Are there other things? Because this sounds very simplified, and I know your study was better than just like.
Well, no, I think if we want to simplify it, I would say yes. It basically boils down. It basically boils down to that, because if you look at there's been many teachers in the data set within the 221 teachers who have said to me, I used to teach in school. I'm a freelancer now because I love what I do. I love my students. I love teaching. I know I'm an amazing teacher, but I really don't work well. I don't function well in such a structured organization. Something we asked as well in the survey was about, do you disclose? And about, I think only 16% had disclosed widely within the organization. 16%. Almost 50% decided not to talk about it and not to disclose. And the rest, which is about 42 or something, they said like, yeah, but only just a few colleagues, just the colleagues that are near to me.
That's quite shocking, I think, because
it is.
We hear these numbers if we're talking about illnesses, and then even doctors will say, maybe don't tell your boss that you're diabetic or that you're sick because it could be held against you.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it for neurodivergency.
Oh, absolutely. And if you ask them, some will say, I don't know how. So they don't know how to disclose this, which is a problem. Some of them will say, well, why should I? Nothing's going to happen anyway. Why? Because maybe they have past experiences, and maybe they go, well, listen, I survived school, so I'll survive this as well, which shouldn't be the option either.
Yeah.
And many of them are afraid. Many of them say, well, listen, there's a lot of stigma around here. And if you work in a school, and maybe you just started in school, you've been there for a couple of weeks, maybe you started in September and it's mid-October, and with the new students, and every day in the staff room, you hear, oh, this dyslexic kid and that ADHD borrower and this, blah, and you go like, yeah, sure. And I'm going to tell you that I'm ADHD. I'll be out of a job in November.
How do we do that? Because I have actually heard someone at my university say the same thing. And the teachers who talk about students this way, they actually do it usually quite caringly, because they're talking in their break time about how can I help this dyslexic student. But by calling it that dyslexic or that autist, or I can understand if you are dyslexic or an autist, you're kind of going a bit like, yeah, I'm not really safe here, and I wouldn't tell and share that I'm one of those.
Yes.
How do we fix that?
Training, awareness. I just spoke to a school in Moldova who did a course with me, a training. The whole school did a training with me, and I asked them as well. I asked the school director, I said, what was the biggest change that you've noticed in your teachers? And she said, actually, the biggest change I've noticed as a school owner was actually the staff room, is how they talk about the students. Where in the past they would talk about, oh, this dyslexic kid and that, autistic kid and that, blah, blah. Now they go like, oh, so such and so is dyslexic. What can we do about it? What can we do to help him? What we can do here is interesting. So now
like a massive change,
and that's a huge change. And even if that is the kind of conversation you can have with your, because you know about this, because you've been trained in this, and even if you have signs in the school that say we are a neurodiversity friendly school, or we are a neuro-inclusive school, or we accept all kinds of thinking or all kinds of learning, then you as a teacher, only by reading that, you go, okay, well, if it's true for the students, it also must be true for me as a teacher. So maybe I can say this, maybe I can tell this.
Yeah. Well, social safety. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Exactly. On all levels.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so if someone's listening now,
yes,
and they are neurodivergent,
yes,
what would you advise them to do?
That really depends on the situation. If it's a teacher and they don't know how to disclose, or if disclose, or what is my situation like, I would say be assured you're not alone. There's a lot of us, of you, out there, and I think for me the most important message is that it's not a bad thing. It's a thing. And if I would have to put a label to it, like good or bad, it's actually a good thing. Because in the end, if we do disclose, if we do talk about this openly, and if we do take it as something like, hey, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and I can work on my weaknesses. Let's look for solutions. Let's look for adjustments, find help anywhere we can. Then you will definitely be one of the best teachers in the school. I'm not going to say the best. Obviously, it's not like, oh, you're ADHD, so you must be the best student. I'm not going to say that, but you are likely to be a very, very good teacher.
And you're more likely, I think, to be aware of your strengths and weaknesses.
Yes,
but it is true that we talk about the weaknesses more, or refer to it as a disability or something that holds people back.
Yeah.
Okay, so clearly advantages and disadvantages. We kind of brushed over the student bit because I was more interested by the teachers. As you also looked at this, right? You coach.
Yeah, so my main work actually is working with language teachers, working with language schools, most of all with groups of teachers in schools and in organizations, and train them, help them to create that awareness of what dyslexia, ADHD, autism is, how it works in the brain, what it is in society as well. Like, how important is it? What are we really talking about? The numbers. How many people are there with these conditions? We look at recognizing it in your students, and that's when teachers go like, oh, this one of that. And that's also when they go like, oh, so this colleague and that colleague and my partner and this, and that's when they see the dyslexics and the autistic and the ADHD and autistics around them. And we talk about how to help these students. We talk about strategies, approaches, adapting material. A very important topic. We talk about self-esteem, and we talk about how to communicate around this. So because I always get this question that hey, if I think this student might be dyslexic, I think this student might be ADHD, or I know it, how do I communicate with the parents? How do I communicate with the students, with the rest of the students in the class, with my peers, with other teachers? And that is a very, very big topic as well. So yeah, that's what I do. My main focus is the students.
You said something about the numbers.
Yeah.
If you listen to media, and especially recent discussions on health and vaccines and paracetamol and all those things, numbers are on the rise.
Yes.
Is that true? Is that your experience as well?
Diagnosis is on the rise. Numbers are probably the same. The thing is, there was an article in the BBC website several years ago, and it was basically an estimation by the British Dyslexia Association, and they gathered that about 80% of dyslexic pupils in the UK would go through school without being diagnosed. So that's 4 out of 5 dyslexic kids that are not diagnosed. In my data set, so in the white paper, I asked the people who were diagnosed, I asked, when were you diagnosed? What age? Only 15%, so 1/5, only 15% was diagnosed before the age of 18. So underdiagnosed, and now the good thing is awareness is growing, stigma is getting bit by bit, it's getting down depending on the country as well.
Yeah.
We know more about it. We're more open about it. So people are getting more and more diagnosed. Sometimes also maybe too much self-diagnosed. Yeah, because it's almost a trend now that people say like, yeah, everybody's dyslexic, everybody's ADHD, and I really don't like it. That's very dangerous if we do that.
I think the self-diagnosis is a bit like the excuse. I can't do this because I'm autistic.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I struggle with this.
There's a thing. So there's self-diagnosis and self-diagnosis, so to speak. So there's good self-diagnosis. Like, listen, I've got all the signs. I've got it's there, you know, and it's very difficult for me to get an official diagnosis, either because it's costly or because waiting lists are too long, or maybe because I just don't need it. I know that this is how my brain works, and I don't need a piece of paper that says I do.
That's the kind of self-diagnosis that I invite everybody to do, because even if you can put a label on it or not, it's good to ask yourself, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What works for me? Am I in the right job? Am I in the right surroundings for my personal needs and my personal character traits and personality? That is, I think, applies to everybody.
It does, because I think in the end, I mean, when I work with teachers, and I usually do teacher training on helping their students, and now it's also about on helping teachers themselves or your team of teachers. It's never It's never about doing something specific for one group, neurodivergent, and something else for the other group. It's doing something that will resonate with everybody. So it's not working harder, it's working smarter. That's what it's about. And when you do that, then, and I always say the same as well, I say it's never a teacher's job to diagnose the students. Not even to screen the students. It's not our job to put labels on the students. But it is our job, I think, to be able to realize that certain students might work in a different way, might process information in a different way.
And to help them learn.
Exactly.
And for that, we do need to know them.
Exactly.
If people want to know more about this, where can they find you? I mean, if they can't come to your talk, where else can they talk to you or find your study results? Or
they can go to my website, www. I'm going to say my name, boulovanderpoel.com. That's a very long one, but I'm pretty sure if you put my name in Google, B for Berlin, O for Oslo, E for England, L for London, O for Oslo, it's very likely that I'm going to be one of the first people to come up, because it's only me and my cousin who have that name.
And I bet your cousin doesn't have your same job.
No. And he will direct you to me.
Then you're in the right circle. And I think I saw Georgia type as well. So the name should be somewhere on the screen now as well.
Great.
Google him and find out more about this and how we can help our students and ourselves.
And our colleagues as well.
Our colleagues.
That's it.
Welcome to Brighton, the vibrant seaside city ensconced along the southern coast of England. Prepare to embark on a journey of discovery as we uncover the fascinating and quirky facts that make Brighton truly unique. Calling all artists, filmmakers and literature enthusiasts, Brighton is brimming with creative energy. Did you know the city boasts the oldest purpose-built cinema in the UK, the Duke of York's Picture House, which opened its doors in 1910. And bookworms might recognise Brighton as the stomping ground for the iconic detective Miss Phryne Fisher from the popular Phryne Fisher Mysteries series. So, whether you're a film buff, a literature lover, or simply someone who appreciates artistic expression, Brighton provides a hub for all things creative. Welcome back to IATEFL Live, and I am joined in the studio by Alexandra Koval. Alexandra, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Very happy with the sunshine.
Of course.
Are you having a good conference?
So far, yes.
Excellent.
It's been an enjoyable time here in Brighton.
And have you been here since the start?
Yes. On Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. I know. IATEFL kind of merges into one. So technically this is day 2.
That's right.
Yes. Is it? It's Wednesday today.
Today's Wednesday.
Yes.
April 22nd.
Yes.
Correct.
It is, absolutely. And Alexandra, you're one of our scholarship winners. In fact, you tell us what scholarship did you get and what did that mean?
Right. So it was in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first time participating in the IATEFL Business English Special Interest Group, because I really work with business professionals and I feel like I need that community. And I saw on the website that they're looking for first-time speaker and that it can be drawn for a scholarship. So I thought, why not? So I put together my application, and to my surprise, it got accepted and I won the scholarship and was invited to speak at the 2024 conference in Malta.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
And that meant that you got your conference fee covered.
Cover my travel.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So that facilitated things. That's lovely. And were you already a member of the Business English SIG?
It was my first year of membership, I think. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think it was required for me to be a member to apply for the scholarship.
And you enjoyed your experience so much that you came back?
Oh,
yes. You came to this conference?
So very much. Yeah, absolutely.
That's fantastic. It's great to hear. So I think if anyone's watching at home and thinking, oh, I'm a member of a SIG, but I've got no chance of winning the scholarship, it's not true. Everyone
has the chance to win the scholarship.
Absolutely.
I would say just give it a go and try next year if you don't get a chance to win this year.
Okay. Yeah, try it. Wise words.
It's worth it.
And then you came back to this conference.
Correct.
And you gave a talk in the showcase day, which was
Correct.
yesterday.
Yes. Yesterday at 4 p.m.
Lovely.
4:50, I'm sorry.
So it's quite late in the day, but you still had energy.
Oh, yes.
And it was a good crowd?
It was a pretty good crowd. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I presented something along AI and how we as business English instructors can help support our learners in developing that skill to be, active user of AI instead of, passive user, how to be more analytical, reflective.
This is very interesting. And I think we'll definitely unpack that as the interview goes on. So what do you do, I think would be the easiest way of asking. Okay. What's your journey in ELT? Where did it start? Where are you now? What have you been doing?
It's quite a long story. So upon completing my master's in TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages, I started my teaching career at the university as an ESL lecturer. So I taught for a few years there. And then I got involved in teaching adult ESL to newcomers, mostly people who newly arrived in the United States, and how I could support them in getting their education in the US or just simply to adjust to their new life in the US. And not long after that, I was involved in business English. So I taught international professionals, and there was not much community at all for business English instructors or communities. So that's how I found BSIG. And I learned a lot from my peers, my colleagues, and just very happy to be part of that. So I've been in the industry for 10, 15 years. Yeah. And my role right now is academic director at a private language school in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Okay. Yeah. I teach occasionally. Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that you found the community, because I know certainly from a university perspective, it can be quite a lonely job, and you don't have maybe the colleagues to bounce ideas off. And
that's right. Yeah.
That community, that development or professional learning network there. So
that's right. Yeah.
Being able to find a community that online and then to meet them that's interested in what you do.
Yeah.
It's game changing, really.
Yeah. Especially when, I'm based in the US and I get to travel and meet new colleagues and friends from around the world. That is just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so yesterday you gave a talk. So you told us on AI, and it was about, you tell us a bit more about the talk.
Okay. So the talk is about how we can support our learners in developing that skills in using AI so that they can adjust their professional voice and tone in workplace emails. Yeah, because there are so many factors associated to email writing. It is just not about correct vocabulary, grammar, or how to use poised language, because politeness markers can vary from culture to culture. So that was the presentation about. And sometimes, when AI tools are present everywhere, and sometimes we have access to just use the suggested reply in our Gmail, for example, it's not always accurate. So as business English instructors, I would love to, inspire instructors to be able to, we're not teaching learners to write from scratch anymore, but we have another task right now to be able to guide them to some activities so that they are more analytical, reflective, and take into account aspects like culture, workplace industries, and basically be mindful of the personal rapport. So when you're sending emails to colleagues who you meet every day, cannot be the same as when you're writing to a client, for example. And then you have to take into account where they're from, right? Their cultural backgrounds, their personality, their communication style. So lots of different things.
Yeah, of course. And so AI tends to be, well, it's quite generic, really, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
And so maybe with a lack of feeling. And in general, I mean, to be honest, I sometimes get quite confused because when I was at school, we were always, you know, very formal when you're in communication. Whereas now, you know, we were previously taught you don't ever use sir and sincerely together. You use faithfully if you're writing dear sir. And now I see a majority of emails being signed off with cheers.
Cheers. Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm a bit lost in terms of the formality of communication.
Exactly. Because formality markers are fluid, and sometimes we're just like not sure. Like, for example, when sometimes I receive emails from students, dear Mrs. Cavell, hope you're doing well. I'm writing to inquire you, and I was like such a lengthy email, and sometimes they didn't get to the point. I didn't really understand what they wanted me to do. Right. So this is something that I enjoy, you know, teaching to our students to be able to, you know, direct them to the path that, you know, sometimes written communication can also affect your professional relationship.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a fine line, isn't it? With
it is
in terms of pragmatics, how do you communicate?
Right.
And so, what advice or what exercises do you use in the classroom with the learners in order to help them fine tune their tone?
Yes. So I give them like sort of like a worksheet. So I usually like making use of AI, like AI generated emails, and then have that activity to help them scan the context first. Like, what is the context of this email? What is the purpose? Is it going to be sent to a colleague, a peer? Do you know their cultural background? So they have to like write down their observation, and after that they will be doing what I call audit, email audit. So basically, like, would you say this to a person who you have just met? What kind of phrases do you think are a little bit big, for example, like too jargony? So would you say kindly or please advise, right? Does it feel distant to you when you say that? Yeah. So I've been doing that in my classroom, and some students mentioned it's really eye-opening. They have never thought of that.
Okay.
Because they think that if I use the word kindly advise, blah, 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 then I will sound professional, poised, then people will take me seriously. But on the other hand, people might feel distant, especially my students are international professionals, but they are based in the US. We Americans just simply say like, hey, just checking in. Would you be able to hop on a call at 2 p.m. tomorrow? So it's really informal. And sometimes your peers, your colleagues might speak that way. So I think like adjusting to the culture, the communication norms of the company is very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is it just the use of AI that makes things generic and maybe the wrong tone, or do you think the exposure that people now have to English through, for example, social media, which may be much more informal than before, has that changed the register, the appropriacy of learn a language?
I would say so, because people are more exposed to media right now, so they will see more examples out there that people don't really communicate like they were or they used to in the past, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, it's all changing, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of change, especially like people have lots of access to media, news, right? Compared to people in the past. But yeah.
Lovely. And where do you see the future with AI and business English going? Do you see a happy union, or do you think we're going to be growing further apart, more down the generic road?
It's hard to say, but I would say that AI is here to stay.
For sure.
And in terms of efficiency, I think many industries expect their employees to also make use of AI on a daily basis, just because, it's just like the expectation right now. So I think like being able to utilize AI more wisely, can be very helpful. So it's not like we're treating AI as a threat, but something as a tool. A tool. Yeah, exactly.
As we've done with every other piece of technology that's come our way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I completely agree. I think we can't avoid it.
We can't.
And I think it's just learning to work with it and recognizing, okay, this may be the inappropriate tone in your case. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the way forward.
Yeah. Especially teaching writing. It's like very difficult. Even though like my students are very proficient in English, but the cultural aspect of the language, how to adapt to the appropriate tone can be challenging.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. And even as from a British context, it's different to the American context. So
correct.
The way that we address people again is different. It's a minefield.
Yes, absolutely. Right.
Oh, but okay. I suppose the last question from me is, what are you looking forward to in Brighton in terms of the conference and the city?
Well, I've been here before, but I think just enjoying the nature as much as possible. The waters. Michigan doesn't have beaches. We only have lakes. So this is something rare to see. So I would like to enjoy, the sand, the wind, everything. And just the company.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The people.
I have met so many wonderful people here.
That's
in
what
Brighton.
it's all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be careful with the seagulls. They're vicious. They're like flying dogs. Have you not seen the size of them? They're huge.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah.
Okay, so have fun, but be careful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. All right. See ya.
Hello, my name is Laura Patsko, and I'll be giving the morning plenary at the IATEFL conference on Friday, the 24th of April. My career in ELT started over 20 years ago now, first with a bachelor's in linguistics, and then a CELTA and a Delta, and later a master's in ELT and applied linguistics. Coincidentally, studying on the very same course as another one of this year's plenary speakers. So it really is a small world, and the ELT world is even smaller. I've also been involved with IATEFL for a number of years. If you've heard my name before, it could be because I used to edit the journal of the Pronunciation Special Interest Group, or the PronSig, or it might be because you attended a workshop or a talk that I gave at a past IATEFL conference. When I summarize it all like that, that sounds like a very nice, neat, organized career path. But actually these days I do quite a range of different things. So I still do some teaching and some training, and I also do a variety of other projects like research projects or learning experience design, which is about drawing on learnings and insights from a huge range of areas and even different disciplines to make the whole experience of learning and teaching as good as it can be for everybody involved. Now, some people call this a portfolio career, or I prefer the term squiggly career because it doesn't follow a clear straight line. And I find it interesting that that's not generally an option that's presented to new teachers because it's hard to define and to predict and to write a job description for. But I actually think it's a really fun and dynamic and creative way to spend a lifetime of work. Because it's really great to try a huge range of different things and to be learning all the time, and not just by yourself, but with everyone around you, and to be able to connect what you've learned in one context when you're working in another. That's where real creativity and imagination and innovation comes from. So this is what I'm going to be talking about at this year's IATEFL conference. I will share some of the most interesting and surprising things that I've learned so far in my squiggly career. And I hope that some of them will also be interesting or surprising and certainly useful and relevant to you too, as I often find that something that you learn at one point can surprise you with how transferable and relevant and interesting it is, even years later in a different context. So if that sounds interesting to you, then I hope to see you on Friday morning, the 24th of April at this year's IATEFL conference.
And we're back, and I'm back with my last interview of today. And again, we found a Dutch touch because I'm here with Tatiana. You have worked at a Dutch bank.
Sorry, yes, I have.
For the people who don't know you, could you tell me something about yourself other than that you worked at a Dutch bank?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Lessig, and I'm a teacher of adults. I teach business English and British English pronunciation. So these are my two niches. I've done 11 years in the Dutch bank as a corporate salesperson. So I've got some practical experience. And I also deal with pronunciation. Phonology is the love of my life too. So I combine both these two fields in my dealing with my students.
Love that. And also love that you have that experience from banking, because I think that helps with teaching business English.
Yes, usually people don't realize they need any pronunciation tips or tricks to improve their English or improve their confidence. So that's where I step in and help with both.
How do we tell them? Because I have students also who think they're good. And then I'm thinking, you are, but how do we tell them?
You advertise yourself. The recommendations work, and people kind of start knowing that, okay, this is the professional that works with business English, and she can also have a look at your accent, for example, and give you a couple of tips on pronunciation, on presentation skills, on how you can be more confident when you're dealing with pitches, or when you need to stand up in front of the audience at the conference and present something.
Very important, I think, because sounding good, it's one of those things, once you become aware of it, you kind of want to, get that confidence and sense of empowerment.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not really dealing with, getting rid of the accent, because this is our identity. We work with intelligibility, with the clarity, so that people understand them better and they know how to deliver their message better. And yeah, they really become more confident once they start working on little things like changing the position of their tongue in their mouth, and the big mistake or mispronunciation goes away, or on intonation or emphasis of certain words that do stress the meaning of the message that they're trying to deliver. So small things, but they make huge impact, and they help people feel more confident. And sometimes learners at higher levels don't have this confidence. They know the language, they know their terminology, they're professionals in their mother tongue. You know how smart they are in their mother tongue. But when you guide them to that confidence, they start loving their voice, and they start sounding better, and they love doing that.
But it must be very empowering if you are, like, I'm known to be not necessarily good with finances. If you are, and it's your job, it must be really empowering to be able to be that also in a second language.
Yes, exactly. And quite often talking about when people at their workplaces talk between departments, for example, and if a financial department gives a presentation to others and they speak with their terminology, not necessarily all their colleagues would understand what and how they're saying and what they're trying to deliver. So we're trying to build those bridges as well, helping them get their professional voice to the appropriate level, to the level where they feel confident, and the level where in mother tongue, they're also a confident professional and expert.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good job. And this is also what your talk was about.
Yes, exactly. My talk was yesterday. It was, the theme was two to tango, pronunciation as business English's perfect partner. And that's where I explored on how pronunciation can help our business English learners improve their voice and lift it up to the professional, really, truly professional level.
How busy was it? Because you've been to IATEFL before?
Yes, this is my second big conference. I got a full room of colleagues, so I was really pleased. Thank you to everyone who enjoyed my talk. It's my second time to the big IATEFL conference. I'm also part of the BSIG special interest group, and I've already done 2 BSIG conferences as well.
And because I like to have a couple of baskets, wear a couple of hats, I'm also part of the PronSig conference. Oh, sorry, PronSig and ESPSig, because I teach bankers, entrepreneurs, business owners, teachers as well. So as you see, I'm trying to be active in various fields.
Trying? I think you are very active in a lot of fields.
I would absolutely advise, if you're not part of IATEFL yet, if you're not part of any BSIG yet, but you're thinking of that, I would totally recommend you are getting one SIG that's included in the annual subscription, as far as I remember, and then you can get additionally any other SIG that's in your interests. Like I did, I have 2 extra ones, but they're not extra, they're additional. They're really helping me become a better professional, because the CPD never stops. And I also get a lot of benefits from it. Like this year I won the scholarship. I'm sorry, I'm going, and maybe
no, but that's good. That's where I was going also, because you are a scholarship winner.
I am a scholarship winner this year, and it's fantastic. Maybe some people think that it's difficult or unachievable. No, just go ahead, give it a try. Read about this, read the terms and conditions, and give it a try. Even if you get a no, you can still try next year, or you can go for a different SIG scholarship. You know, the doors you don't knock to don't open. So do knock on these doors.
Love that expression. What did you have to do? Because I always think and hear from other people that applying for a scholarship is a lot of work, and it doesn't necessarily pay off because you don't know if you're going to be selected. What did you have to do?
I had to go through the requirements. The requirements probably would be different for different SIGs. So I had to go through the requirements, read them carefully, study, and think whether you're applicable or not, whether you fit, whether you've had some membership term, the minimum term that you could, you could pass for it. Then you need to write an abstract. You need to think of the theme that you could be representing. You could also do a speech if you want to during one of the conferences, the following conference. I know that not all the scholarship winners did or do have a session, but I decided to, because I love sharing and caring. So yeah, and then you apply. Even if you get to know, this is still going to be an experience. But you will, if you do win, it's going to be definitely a win for you.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Was this then your first time speaking?
No, I spoke in Edinburgh last year, so it's not the first time speaking. It's the facilitator scholarship, the BSIG facilitator scholarship. And I'm also volunteering for BSIG. On the
this woman makes me feel lazy. God, you do too much. But what do you do for BSIG?
I help with online posting. So I'm with the online team that coordinates everything that you see on the media and the social media for the BSIG team.
And would you advise volunteering?
Absolutely. This is, one of the things that BSIG or IATEFL in general is good for, is the networking. So you get to know, you get access to real experts and professionals, and you get to talk to them, and then you become friends with them as well, with lots of them as well, and you get an exchange of experiences, and maybe you'll find answers to your professional questions. So yes, it does require some of your time throughout the week or a month. It really depends on the position you apply to or you want to apply to. It's not necessarily that they'll give you 40 hours per week job without any payment, but it's a volunteering job. So a couple of hours a week, or even less than that. Why not? And then you get to meet such lovely people, and then you get to come to a conference, and then you get to hug them and go to their sessions, and then they come to your session. So it's such an exchange of energies and professional advice and possible projects in the future. So it's, the possibilities are there where you look for them. So if you're thinking, if you're doubting, do give it a try. Go for it. I would totally recommend it.
Good. I like what you're saying, because we do have quite some SIGs, and the special interest group, there's going to be one in your niche.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
At least one. You have 2 niches, so then 3 niches, then obviously you've got more. But sometimes we passively consume. And I like that you're saying that, by volunteering, you do also get to actively engage with people working within your field, which leads to business opportunities, which leads to exchanges, which leads to inspiration. or friends.
Exactly. And even from going to a couple of conferences already, whether the big IATEFL conference or a smaller BSIG one, I already have a couple of friends, and I already have some projects planned with them across countries, across borders. So this is something that you wouldn't get without getting here. So I would totally recommend both IATEFL and any of the SIGs joining, whatever your niche is, whatever your sphere you work in. Even just simply coming to a conference and going through, going to all the sessions that are of interest to you would definitely already benefit you. So it would totally pay off. And then the volunteering works as well.
Good for karma as well.
Yes,
true. Love that. Back to your talk and pronunciation. Any tips for people listening on pronunciation and teaching pronunciation?
General tips. Okay, something just off my mind. If you want a message to be delivered, think of the keywords that you would need to stress, because emphasizing a keyword in a sentence will really help you get people's attention. Don't rush too much. So don't talk long sentences without any pauses or anything. So pause before the main word, emphasize the main word a little bit more. For example, I don't want this film. 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 Gives you so many messages.
Where we put the emphasis really matters. So looking at the sentence we have behind us, linking, developing and supporting English language teaching professionals worldwide.
Yes.
It's quite a mouthful.
Yes.
So if we don't stress and pause, this is going to be one of those horrible sentences.
It's going to be one of the sentences that people who listen to you won't really get exactly what you want to say. So it's quite a long sentence. And if you don't use the emphasis on a certain word, then people will just maybe miss the message. What's the most important thing out here? Then also don't rush too much. Work with pauses, use pauses. If a sentence is too long, use pause groups or thought groups. So do the pausing before adding the next idea, and also expand your pitch, the pitch of your voice.
Yeah.
If we talk too flat, we sound too boring. So we sound like a professor who's reading a boring lecture and people start falling asleep. Yeah. So go a little bit above and then down. So we need to teach them to do up, so the rise and the fall. We could do that with this very simple activity. Not everyone understands what exactly we need to do with our voice, so we can ask our students to say Yes, good one. Imagine I did it with the whole room of people and somebody's standing behind the doors. Okay. So yeah, we would also expand on our pitch of the voice to sound a little more engaged and to engage our audience. So don't talk on the median level of your pitch level, because that sounds, too flat, not interesting for people. So these are the minimum things that I would start off with.
I'll take that advice. And if you like listening and I haven't made you fall asleep yet, I promise I'll be better. And then going to my final sentence, thinking it through, where do I put the emphasis? I'm going to say back to you, Georgia, and have fun watching the next video.
Okay, this is Anud Shubli. I am from Oman. I'm so excited today to have a very rich and insightful day like yesterday. Most of the sessions I'm attending today will be related to teaching materials, use of AI in assessment. So I'm very excited to know how people approach these two main areas. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Khoa. It sounds like quality. It is a Vietnamese name. I am doing my PhD at University of Warwick. So I came to Brighton from Coventry, UK. So what I'm looking for at the conference is new knowledge and catching up with friends and teachers and colleagues around the UK and also around the world.
Hello, welcome back. I'm joined by the last speaker of the afternoon, but by no means the least. This is the wonderful Kathy Hill. Kathy, hello.
Hi, lovely to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. How's your conference going?
Brilliant, as usual. Seeing lots of people, lots of great talks. It's really hard to choose.
Isn't it just? That programme is just chock-a-block.
It's chock-a-block, and then you need to have a nap, but you can't, so you've got to keep going.
I know. Yeah. But do you sleep really well in the evenings though, like knowing that you've just had such a full-on day?
Yeah, and it's so lovely to reconnect with, networking and finding people, new things, new ideas for the classroom. It's great for practice. Yeah.
It is. So, Kathy, tell us, what's your role in ELT? Where are you? How did you get there?
Okay, so I work at IH London, International House London, and I'm a teacher trainer, and I teach general English exams as well, things like that. So I've been there for about 20 years, I think.
Is it 20 already?
It's quite a long time.
That happens quickly, doesn't it?
It does. But I did work various places before that and was, sort of working towards those things. And so it's been nice. Yeah.
Lovely. And what do you work on? CELTAs, Deltas?
So CELTA is my thing. So CELTA is where I'm at the moment, and some of the short courses we run as well, like sort of like 2-week specials, things like that. So yeah.
Experienced. Okay. And this year you gave an incredibly interesting talk at the conference. Would you like to tell us what it was about?
Okay. So the talk was about menopause, but how could we as managers or trainers or teachers support people that we teach or that we manage or that we work with colleagues? How could we support them going through menopause? And by menopause, I was talking about perimenopause and menopause as one thing, because it's really one very long process.
It is, isn't it? And they say it affects women from the age of potentially 35.
Yeah.
Okay. And so where did the idea come from? Because I know that menopause, and suddenly it's being spoken about a lot more than it ever has been.
Yeah. So I think, I'm of the generation, certainly here in the UK, where our mothers made a fuss about it. They weren't going to just lie down about it. So we had already had experience of like our mothers sort of fighting this in the 90s and the 80s. Taking HRT and all these quite new drugs at the time and quite new ideas. But things like the workplace, they just had to suck it up. So I'm 53. My own perimenopause has been, it hit me at 43, and my confidence fell off a shelf in one day. And I knew something was very wrong. So I popped along to the doctor, and she was like, "You're in perimenopause." So we, got going with some things. And, that worked for a while. So, then I've obviously watched colleagues and friends, and I've read a lot about it, and I've seen people going through it. And everyone's journey is very different. And it just struck me that actually a lot of the time schools don't have policies. They don't have, it's not in the handbook, for example. And so managers are afraid to, broach the subject. Sometimes staff don't feel able to broach the subject. And it's really through a lack of, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know how to. So I thought, well, I'll, look into this. So I just thought I'll start with my own company at International House London. And so I sent out a survey through one of the senior management team to everyone in the school. And I obviously popped around, admin departments and staff rooms and encouraged men and women and non-binary, anyone to fill it in. And one or two men were like, "Oh, why me?" And I was like, because it's a fact-finding mission. So, you don't have to be in menopause, be managing people or, have colleagues through it. So it started with that really. And then we got the survey back with the results, and I was just really surprised.
What surprised you?
So there was a lot of people, we got 49 responses. Okay. And I think something like 19 of them were men. And there was another smaller proportion that were non-binary or other, and the rest were women. And what was so surprising was the comments. So with several of the questions, I said, what further training would you require, or do you feel able, how confident do you feel about bringing this subject up? And some of the comments were things like, oh, I've been suffering this for ages by myself, or I've had people I'm managing and I don't know how to broach this subject. It's not because I don't want to. And the one question I asked was, do you know about the menopause policy in our company? And 100% of people said no, because we didn't have one.
Right. So that's why they didn't know about it.
Right. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like, wow, we're a very progressive company. So, in terms of the law in the UK, as of April now this year, any company with over 250 employees can voluntarily have a menopause policy within their equal rights and other, but it's got to be in there.
Can I ask a really naive question?
Yeah.
What does that look like, a menopause policy? I understand the words, but I'm not actually
Yeah,
sure.
okay. So some practical examples could be something like, okay, so if you're a middle manager, you're managing me, okay, and for example, I can't take anything now for the menopause because I had chemotherapy and a certain type of cancer that means I can't take anything.
Right.
So things like sleep are very interrupted. And if I know I have to get up at 6:30, it's even worse. I have hot flushes through the night. I have night sweats. I have brain fog. I forget things halfway through, as you can tell when I'm talking. So when I approached my managers about this, because obviously it's going to be a thing, they didn't know how discretionary they could be. Okay, so things like, okay, well, if there's an online CELTA, we'll let Kathy do it from home because that's much easier physically for me with the fatigue. But things like, okay, a medical appointments, would they count in her sickness leave or not, and things like that. So if it's in a policy, then those things are taken care of and the manager knows what is and what isn't. And things like, if you have to have lots of medical appointments to do with menopause, which can happen, then your manager will know they can put that as a separate type of leave, a discretionary. So just think practical things like that, or giving you a classroom that you can get to, or that is cooler than anywhere else in the building. It just sounds silly, but just things they know they can do and say, well, we're not giving her an advantage. This is, if it's in policy, it can be like, right, we can do these things for you.
Absolutely. And this is across the UK that this policy is going to kick in for everyone, not just language schools, obviously.
Yeah. So in April 2027, it's going to be mandatory.
Right.
So lots and lots of different types of organizations are now starting to write policy for this, and it could be things like having a list of outside resources that you can give to staff and say, if you're struggling with this, okay, here are some agencies that you can use through the internet or call them, and things like that. So yes, I think it's something that's going to be, it's now out in the open.
Much more so than ever before.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering, I think each to their own, and still there may be a bit of a stigma around it. And what advice would you have for kind of any teachers that are going through this, or just, realizing my memory isn't what it used to be and I'm struggling a little bit here?
Yeah.
What would you advise?
I think the one thing is you are not alone. Okay. So get in touch with organizations, get online, talk to people, so you feel that okay. And then look at things from the top as well as from the bottom where you are. So ask your school, do you have a policy? If they don't, put a survey out, find out, see if you can generate interest. So one of the things that came back from this survey was people in different departments sent emails, men and women, saying, this is great, Kathy, I don't know enough about this. I'd like to have more awareness of this. People, all kinds of departments that you wouldn't expect. And it wasn't, so then it was like, right, these people want to know. So if you start at the top with things like that, or go to HR and say, what is our policy? Do we have one? And they'd be like, what does that look like? You can be like, okay, well, maybe we could have some awareness training. Maybe we could have some workshops where people can hear about typical symptoms in the menopause, or typical journeys, or things that can happen, or what advice, that line managers are given to help people in your position. So it's not that they can't help you, but ask them, what advice have you been given to support people like me? Yeah. But I think the stigma is there, but unless we talk about it,
it's not going to go away.
No. And also people are worried that maybe male colleagues will, be like, oh, you're talking about menopause. But actually, menopause affects everyone because those male colleagues have female friends, they have relatives, they have all kinds of people in their lives that are women who will go through this. And age as well. So, some women have very early menopause, and they're a very maligned group. And things like the brain fog make you feel incredibly unprofessional. So having roles where you feel like, maybe I do very repetitive work at the moment because I find it difficult to hold too many things at once. So whereas before I might do 4 different courses at once, now it's like, okay, do that one, and that's the majority of my time. And it makes me, so I think looking at those things, but the memory thing is a nightmare. But also there is medication if you're able to take it. So don't suffer in silence, but go and see what some options are. It doesn't mean you have to take them, but I think it's about awareness and talking to people about how you feel. But that thing about feeling a lack of confidence and not professional enough and feeling maligned because people are like, oh, well, she can't do that at the moment, which is one of the reasons I decided to talk about it at the conference, because I thought I'm going to push myself to do something new, talk about it so that I do something new myself, because, it's easy to stay. But I wanted people to kind of see that, okay, she's still a professional and she can still get out there.
And it's super relevant as well, because if we look at the demographic, it's certainly people who will menstruate, or go through menopause, that dominate, I think, the profession. So definitely something to talk about.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I think it's, it can only become more open, and as it becomes more open, then we can start to direct policy. But I think for me, this is just the beginning of the journey, and I'll be certainly carrying on looking at aspects of this. But already my HR department, we shared the results with the HR, and they've already said, right, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and we'll talk to senior management, and then we'll look at awareness and training and workshops and things. So, it's a win-win. So
absolutely.
If I hadn't asked, we wouldn't be going in that direction. So I think be brave, but look at it from a policy point of view as well as from your own perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah. So maybe take the first steps. It could just be, well, one, talking about it with a colleague, or maybe someone higher up if you think that's going to help, and then going to HR and asking, what do we have in place? Could we have something in place?
Yeah. And I also think that, one of the things, I mean, we're in quite an open environment. I understand lots of people aren't, but people think it's unprofessional to talk about their menopause at work. But, there's humor in it. You can have a bit of fun with this, but it's also, if you have mental health issues, you can talk about those. So, if you have a broken leg, you can talk about it. So I think menopause, if you see it in that bracket, it's not an illness, but it's certainly something that physiologically changes us. That we can talk about it. And I think people aren't, if people are put off, maybe it's just you're planting a seed for them. Oh, I've not thought about that. And maybe the next time they'll talk about it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy, well, thank you for being brave and innovative and bringing this to the conference. And thank you for talking about it today. It's super helpful.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely to talk to you. Brilliant.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
And that is unbelievably the end of day 2. When did that happen, Anka?
I don't know. It always flies by, doesn't it?
But it really does. I can't believe these 2 hours, they just vanish. It's just, whew.
But it's such a privilege, like,
isn't it? Jess?
Attending a conference, seeing the sessions, it's one thing. It's like that passively consuming that we all like when it's Netflix as well. I think this is better than Netflix. But then actually getting to talk to people, it's like, I don't know.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I always learn so much.
Well, this is what I was just thinking. What have we had today? So we've had different paths that we could take in ELT. We had neurodiversity.
And International Houses Portal.
Absolutely.
Which
IH
I
portal.
really do want to check out.
Yes, that's definitely worth looking at. We talked about tone and AI and business emails. Pronunciation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then the menopause. And
I think we've covered a lot.
There's going to be a menopause policy. So, yeah, I can't even believe there's still something to talk about tomorrow, but there is.
There is, because we do have another live show coming up tomorrow.
We do. Oh, and we met our treasurer, Viola, today as well. That was lovely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Viola's
lovely. Oh, gosh.
So much.
What are you going to do this evening?
I think I'm in the hotel room. This is not my most fun or social IATEFL this year. But I ordered, I say I ordered, but Georgia ordered for me crutches that should be in the hotel now. So I'm hoping that tonight I can try
hop down to the lobby,
maybe even make it to the front door and get some oxygen. Like, would love that. No, but it's a bit of a quiet conference for me. I think that's good sometimes.
Quiet is good. Yeah, exactly. Quiet is
And
good.
you?
I'm going to meet my best friend and we're going to go to the cinema.
Nice.
Yes, that's the plan for the evening.
Love it.
But what was I going to say? But so you'll be able to hop around tomorrow, which is brilliant because tomorrow is actually the last show this conference.
Yes. So tomorrow with my 2 crutches, and Georgia made sure they match my jacket in color, so I'll look very fashionable.
All about the coordination.
We will actually take some recordings of the venue and show you what it's really about. I mean, you just get to look at us and we keep telling you how busy it is, how fun it is, but you haven't actually seen it. So tomorrow we'll actually take you out and she'll take me out. So I think we're all having a good day tomorrow.
Absolutely. Oh, okay.
And then no Friday. That's a good thing to mention. Normally we do have a Friday morning show.
Not this year. Tomorrow's going to be our last show. Sad face.
Sad face.
But what a show it's going to be.
Oh yeah. We'll make it like really good.
Absolutely. We don't want to leave the studio, but yeah, we won't then. We'll just stay.
Do you guys want to see the studio? By the way, do pop in the comments if you're looking at this. Pop in the comments what you'd like us to show you about the venue. I mean, we always go for the gift shop because I'm a bit of a shopaholic, and we go for the exhibition because she likes that. But tell us what you'd like to see. We'll take you to the posters or behind the scenes in the studio. Whatever it is, tell us, and we'll get you some footage.
Yeah, we can definitely do that for tomorrow's show, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for being with us for the afternoon, for keeping us company.
Don't forget to check out the plenary.
Yep, absolutely, which is going to be on at 6 o'clock. And yeah, we hope that you have a fantastic evening and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Till tomorrow.